A longtime friend of the Pro Audio Suite podcast, and I have to say, an even longer time friend of mine, sometimes sadly, but still. From Waves, Michael Pearson Adams. How are you?
Hello there. How are you, Robbo?
Mate, I'm doing very well, thank you. It's nice to see you virtually, although, you know, we do chat fairly regularly, but it is nice to see you.
Mate, we're in the same country, and that's exciting.
I know, it's nice, isn't it? It was a long time that wasn't the fact.
21 years I was in the States. 21 years. Yeah.
Wow.
It's time to come home.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I hear a lot of people say that. I mean, your old boss and my old boss, Jeff Thomas, got sick of LA and decided that wasn't the place to raise a family and came home many moons ago too. So Australia's obviously just the place to be.
I actually took a couple of pages out of his book and in how I dealt with my move back.
Yeah.
Because obviously I still have my clients are still US based, and the company I'm one of the directors of is Tel Aviv based. So, you know, it's I just happen.
And do you sleep at all?
My circadian rhythm, as my doctor tells me, is a mess.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. Anyway, there's been some new exciting things happening at Waves. Talk to me.
So for the last 2 years, I've been working on a product that I wanted to release, which we finally released recently, called Waves Stream. Mm-hmm. Waves Stream is a component of 2 plugins and a web app that enables everybody from a DAW or a nonlinear editor like Final Cut, DaVinci, or Premiere to open the plugin on their master, press a big button, send a link to somebody, and have them listen in real time, either on a plugin in their own environment or in a web app. Yep. To whatever's going on in the DAW. And we developed it around a codec that we also developed from the ground up here at Waves, because I wanted to make sure that the sound was as good as possible and as low as latency as possible. And also the design of this was the way it was in my head, which is as simple as possible.
And did you achieve that?
I did. It's basically, I based this entire design around the image in my head of like a start engine button, like a big button. Okay. You open the plugin, you hit the button. That's it initially.
Yeah, nice.
Once it starts doing its thing, it gives you a link. You share it with somebody, you press play, and they can hear what you're doing.
Well, that's nice. So there's obviously a bunch of similar sort of software out there. Tell me, where is this one aimed, and sort of why do you feel like it's got an advantage over some of its competitors in that space then?
First thing, so I'm going to answer the last question first. I don't think it has an advantage per se. I didn't design this. We at Waves didn't design this with the goal of let's go after this company's market or that company's market. What I designed was a product that is audio streaming from a DAW for everyone. Sure. From the dude in the bedroom who is working in FL Studio and making beats, or working on, you know, a track in Logic at 3:00 in the morning and wants to share it with a friend, to people in commercial studios who need a fast, I need to send this to somebody now. This is simplicity at its best, with very few controls and a smooth GUI that blends in, hopefully, to people's creative flow. It's not designed to take anybody on, compete with any audience, any other products out there. I think it has its own niche.
Okay, so this, I guess we're saying this isn't the type of software that I would dial into a voiceover artist and say, let's do a session, I'll record you on my end, or is that not the case?
You could totally do that. What it's not aimed at is complex setups. What we designed was a send plugin and a receive plugin and a web app. Now, if you want to send audio to somebody who's recording the audio in their DAW, then you have the send plugin, they have the receive plugin. And we'll show it to you in a minute. I'll take you through it in your setup, and we'll set up a mix.
Yep.
There's also a web app, so that the person that's listening to your audio doesn't need to have anything to do with the studio. And in those cases, that's usually the artist or a friend or somebody that you want to hear the music. It's like at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're working on it and you're really, really into your creative flow. You want somebody to hear it. Mm-hmm. And this is really where I designed this around, is like that passion of, oh my God, I such and such needs to hear this.
Nice. Maybe the drummer needs to hear it or something like that. Something important.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's dive in and have a look, because I'll be honest with you, I have.
You haven't even opened it. I feel very.
I've never opened it. I haven't.
No.
I've been busy, so trying to get two radio stations relaunched, both with the same relaunch date of this coming Monday. So you can imagine the amount of work.
You've got to make sure this podcast is evergreen, dude.
That's right.
Like, so these radio stations, they are ongoing with
exactly.
People.
Yeah. Anyway. So let me share my screen, because what I've done is I've taken the liberty of setting up a very basic two-way session.
Most of our sessions are basic, Robbo. Okay, so let's hypothetically say that you're working with, say, AP, and he's the voiceover, and therefore he's in his little booth. He's talking Andrew Peters-ish. He's got that kind of like, yeah.
You got to get down like that.
That one too, yeah. So the first thing he's going to do is he's going to put WaveStream on his mix bus, or on he can put it on his vocal track if he wants to, but generally speaking, put it on a mix bus.
Okay, so if I go in here, go to multi-channel plugin, go down to Waves Audio, go down to Waves.
You've heard of categories, right?
I know, but I wasn't sure what category to look in. At least I knew if I looked under Waves, I would find it. WaveStream Send. That's what we're looking for, right? There we go.
So let's just go through this plugin for a second. So first things first, there are two different skins for this plugin. There's a light one and then there's a dark one. So if you hit the little button at the top of the right-hand plugin, you can hit dark. Yeah. So now,
and does that change with day and night like the rest of the Mac stuff? Or do you have to do that?
It does not, nor do any of your plugins. So
where's your planning? Come on, Waves, get together.
It's Apple security. Now, if you just literally want to send the audio and have it listened to really quickly, the first thing you do is you hit that big button. Just hit it.
Ta-da.
Now, as soon as you hit that button, we automatically start creating a stream. And once we are ready with the stream connection out of your DAW, you'll see a QR code. And also, we've automatically copied a link to your clipboard so that you can obviously send it to whoever you want to. So you don't even need to do that. That is there in case you've, in the meantime, copied something else to your clipboard.
And done something stupid. Yeah.
Right.
Fair enough.
Now, if you open up a web browser, for example.
Yeah. Hang on. I got
Chrome's good.
Got Chrome open here. Let's go File, New Window. And I'll just drag it from my other screen down
and
to
paste.
Here. Oh, look at that.
All right. So there's a couple of things here that are really important. Firstly, I could easily get you to connect, even though we're using this example on your own computer. Mm-hmm. Because one of the first things I do is I automatically default mute every receive plugin or web app so that you can see the meters. So you can see something, but you can unmute, or the listener can unmute at their own pleasure when they've got their own volume or their own speakers sorted out. That way we don't blast anybody and we don't blow up any speakers or
up there for thinking. Nice.
Thank you. Now, there's a couple of things that you will also see. You will see the in the web app, they get your playhead timeline. They get the sample rate, and they get the name of the stream. And in this case, you didn't name it. You just so it's my stream. But if you press play in your DAW, then
hang on, let me
and then
let's hide this a little bit. Let's hide that. And then, so if I was going to name this, I could just go here. Is that right?
you could, but you can't now.
Oh, because it's open?
Yeah. Also, while you're looking at the plugin, if you look under the VU, you'll see a little bold head with headphones that's now highlighted blue, which means your listener is confirmed as in connected.
Okay. So if they weren't there, would that be red?
Gray.
Grey. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Red would be for recording, and that might confuse people. So very good.
Right.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and I use red for leave. So are you playing now in your timeline? You're not.
I haven't got anything to play. Actually,
just press play. Just press play. Doesn't matter.
Okay, here we go. There we go. We're playing. And if we go back to, look, see, there we go. Playhead's ticking over. Look at that. So is that would be handy if you were playing something and if you were playing something to a producer on the other end or something, and they might be able to go, listen, at 55 seconds, there was a funny little glitch. Can you go back and play that to me?
Exactly.
Nice. I like that.
Now, if you're doing it just one way like that, that's the way to do it, because you can't expect everybody to have a DAW in front of them unless they're a pro audio professional.
No.
Right. So that's the web app, and that opens on the phone and tablet and everything else as well.
Okay, so I could listen to that on my phone? Okay,
so if you close the browser for me, just close that browser tab.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah.
Apple W.
I know. I don't use shortcuts, Gomez.
You're such an amateur. Okay, now look at my little headphone guy. He's about to turn grey.
In a second. There he goes.
Okay, so now you don't have anybody listening. Now, if you now scanned that QR code with your phone, it will automatically give you the link to that stream, and you can bring up the stream on your phone.
There you go.
The reason for the QR code is literally that. The QR code is there for musicians, mixers, producers, etc. I want to be able to go and listen to that on my AirPods or in the car or, in a Bluetooth speaker that's on the TV or whatever else. Just scan it, take it with you, leave the session on loop, and off you go.
Nice. You put a lot of thought into this, I have to say.
Thank you. I did. Now, while we're also there, I'm going to say that you also have, if you look on the left-hand side of the Big W, you'll see grayed out what looks like a mic feature. Now, if you sidechain a channel to Wavestream send, and you have, say, for example, a microphone on that channel, then the mic feature in Wavestream becomes active, and you have a talkback button that you have gain control over your DAW directly from Wavestream. So you could actually use that. And the reason for that is a lot of post-production or music producers like to comment on their mixes as they, this is vocal up, this is vocal down, this is the one you want, etc. And rather than having to control a DAW channel and mute that channel, what we do is we take control over the gain of that channel and give you a talkback toggle button directly in Wavestream, so that you can actually control that from the plugin. And you can MIDI key that as well. So you can assign it to a MIDI key and use your MIDI controller to toggle your talkback on it.
That was my next question. And I may be getting a bit ahead of you here, so stop me if I am. But in a voiceover session for an agency, for example, I may not want to send them absolutely everything. So rather than putting my send plugin on my master bus,
put it on a bus.
Could I use 2 or 3 instances of it only on the tracks I wanted to send them?
Absolutely.
Okay, right.
The beauty about this is we're using what's known as peer-to-peer technology behind Wavestream, which means that we're not going through a cloud. We're going literally, we have a cloud handshake for security purposes that we deal with, but then it's computer to computer. So it's literally between you and whoever is grabbing those tracks. So you could literally say, okay, right, so I'm giving you Wavestream, you put Wavestream on this voiceover, this one, and this music bed, etc. name them appropriately, send them the 3 links. They put the 3 plugins into the receive plugins in their door and paste the links, and then you press play, they press record.
Because that's the thing. Sometimes, in a voice session, I may want to communicate with the voice artist, but not have those sitting in the room, the virtual room, hear me.
Right.
So I don't necessarily want to send them everything out of my master bus. So yeah,
no, you can put it on. It's like for music, generally speaking, if it's a mix you're sending, then a master bus. But there's absolutely no reason why you can't have wave stream on just a vocal or a bus, etc. And then you could have. One perfect example that I did the other day was I did a voiceover session where I was recording a voiceover from Iowa. And the creative agency that was approving the mix was in New York. So I had 2 different versions of WaveStream going. I had WaveStream that was coming in, going from me to Dan in Iowa, and he had a send plugin in his he was talking to me so we could talk to each other from our doors. And then I had another WaveStream send that was going directly to the creative agency, and they had it open in a web app.
Nice.
So, so I had 2 different angles going on at the same time, so that I could talk to Dan, and the creative agency wouldn't hear it, but they got what they were supposed to hear.
So let's, I guess, start rounding this out. But the question that occurs to me is everything in here that you had in mind? Was there any sort of issues that you came across with stuff you really wanted to do that might sort of rear its head in future versions? Or can't you tell me that?
There's a few things that are going to come into future versions.
Yeah.
One of the first things that happens with any plugin that involves the internet is you're dealing with something that's not necessarily in your control. It's a bit like being a child or a pet photographer. You have control of your gear, but outside of that, you're not in control. So dealing with a service like this that we've never done before involves making sure that people are aware that we have control over what we can give as part of this plugin service.
Yeah.
But a certain amount of it has to be dealt with by, do you actually have internet that works with more than 2 cans and a piece of string? And then it's really up to your bandwidth. So how many wave streams you can add per session to have multiple things going backwards and forwards is totally up to you and your internet. But the average internet, say, for example, if it has like 30 to 50 megabytes up and maybe 150 down, I've had 10 that I've been sending out.
Sure.
10 different tracks. Haven't had a problem. Now, one of the things we also did was we've put in the ability for this system to deal with audio that's being trying to received by somebody behind like a VPN or a really, really virulent and enthusiastic firewall. So there are some times where we have to adjust the codec accordingly so that you get audio.
Sure.
One of the things that we've done, though, is if you do me a favor, Robbo, press connect again, because one of the things which I was waiting for with your plugin, I was waiting for it to terminate. If nobody connects to a WaveStream link within 5 minutes, then we will automatically terminate your session for security reasons.
Nice. Good idea.
Okay. Yeah. Now, I want you to make that plugin a lot bigger for me. And I'm going to scan the QR code. All right. So I now have that link of yours. So I'm going to open it here. So this is what? Sydney to Brisbane.
Vegas. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm going to click to connect on my phone. And now it's connecting, and now you'll see your little blue man
says live.
It's alive.
Or live. Which one?
Now, you'll also see that on your plugin, there's a little icon that's appeared over the mic feature that's blue.
Yeah.
Okay, that means that this signal and this connection is perfect, and we're using the best codec. We're using the Falcon codec for this, so you're getting near lossless audio between me and you, and but to make it even better, if you have a look at the top of the app, you'll see there's a little thing underneath Wavestream that says optimized.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I can do is I can change that to go optimized to efficient. And the reason I would do that is if I'm getting a really, really good internet signal and I want to get it at lower latency, then I can go efficient, and it will try and get the latency as far down as possible to like 20 milliseconds.
Sure.
It'll do a quick reset, and then it will bring me back, and we'll be up and running again. So it's pretty smart technology that tries really, really hard to. There you go. I'm back again. So, and it tries really, really hard to make sure that we give you the absolute best. So
at that really optimal setting, I'm sure it's not a WAV file. In fact, I'd be positive it's not a WAV file. But what would be the equivalent in terms of if I was sending an audio file? What would be the equivalent of what you're hearing? Like, let's say WAV file at 16-bit. Let's just say WAV file at 16-bit, 24K or whatever. What would you be sort of hearing? That. Okay. So you're pretty much hearing it as it's coming off my door. Pretty much at that setting.
Yep.
Okay. And then obviously to reduce latency, we're starting to squash that down a bit though, right?
If you start to see that if that little blue icon turns gray, then that means that we're adapting to either your or your listeners' signal.
Yep.
If they're on a phone, that usually happens if they're moving between cell towers and Wi-Fi, or Wi-Fi and cell tower. A lot of places around the world, their 5G on their phone is like 10 times faster than their Wi-Fi signal.
Yep. Of course.
People still haven't worked that one out. But 90% of the time, it's like it sounds crystal clear.
And if you're listening over the NBN, you're probably in all sorts of trouble.
Anything in Australia, we have 2 cans and a piece of string. I put my piece of string in my can out of this window so that Robbo could get it.
That's right. Yeah. So we could connect. Exactly. Well, mate, I've got to say congratulations. It's a very neat little package that does what it's made to do very well and very easily. I know with some of the other platforms, creating mixed minuses and all that sort of stuff can be a nightmare, but I can see how this, for somebody who's probably not so sort of technically able or doesn't understand what a mixed minus might be, that would make life much easier for them.
You've just nailed something on the head. Is a lot, and with what I'm about to say, there's no insult to anybody. A lot of the newer audio software is designed to let you come up with a result that's good for you without actually bothering to really make you need to understand anything about compression, EQ, or anything else. You're working with your ears. And to be fair, and let's face it, most creative people, it's the ears that are more important than understanding the absolute finite fine print of how a dynamics works. So increasingly, we're finding that a lot of people are going into studios with beats or melodies or songs, and then somebody's asking them for, okay, so what chord progression or what this, and they're like, I don't know, this is what sounds good and this is great. And those are some of the best songs that come out of anybody in the world. So what I designed this for this is audio streaming for everybody, the rest of us, all of us. Hit a button, that's it.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
One more thing. So if you terminate the mix, so press leave. Okay, right. So now if you double click my stream, you can name the next stream.
Okay, so hang on. Robbo's Gold. Yep. Whoops,
Okay.
hang on.
Now I want you to hit the down the arrow on the right-hand side of Robbo's gold. You can add a passcode of up to 6 digits or characters.
Yeah.
The passcode does not get transferred with the link. So if you then hit the big button, it will send the stream link to somebody, but you will then have to give them the passcode.
Give them the code. Yeah, okay. Good.
Okay. So,
and if I need help, there it is right there.
Right there. Yeah.
Nice.
And that's the troubleshooting page and all the support pages.
Right. And that dials you directly, right? That if I push on that goes straight to your mobile?
Straight to this phone.
Perfect. You're such a company man.
I know. I'm so committed.
So before we disappear, mate, what else should we do? We haven't.
You haven't looked at the receive plugin
The
yet.
receive point. All right, let's get rid of this. Okay, so what if I put that? Let's just pretend this is a track.
So Robbo has got. So say for example, Andrew Peters has got a send plugin, which you just demoed, and you're going to be receiving what he's sending. So you're going to add a track, and you're going to add Wavestream receive. And then it's automatically going to say paste to connect. So paste link to connect. So you will then paste the link that you had in a web app there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have exactly the same information. You have the playhead, you have the name of the session, the sample rate. You then have another button there, a little toggle, stream collab. That's, again, giving you control over your latency and performance. So we give you the best chance of 0 drops, even based on shitty internet, if you stay in the default of stream. If, however, you've got really good internet and you want to have a bit more of a two-way conversation going on, make sure that you are in the latency of doing that, go to collab mode, and it'll pull it down to about, again, 20 milliseconds or so, which is around exactly the same as Zoom or Skype or anything else, where, like this, you can have a two-way conversation quite easily and nobody notices any overlap.
Cool. So that means, I could, even with that slight delay, I could be recording my guitar part from this end, and whoever's on the other end could then just nudge it or slide it into place if it was a little bit late anyway.
Yep.
So there you go. Yeah, nice. Very good. So, and then we have similar options here, I'm guessing. Just the help there. Okay.
Just help. But there may be some things coming into that extra. There's a reason I put drop-down menus. It's so I can add in features.
Yeah, because you're always thinking.
I don't sleep. It's got nothing to do with this stuff at all.
Yeah. Sleep? What's sleep? I'm with you.
Red Bull gives you wings.
I was going to say, he says with a Red Bull in his hand. Well, listen, I know you're in Brisbane, but try and have a good day anyway.
Ouch. This is Brits Vegas. It's the Queensland. Perfect one day, beautiful the next.
I know. Well, Australia's pretty much the same everywhere.
We are in the lucky country, mate.
Indeed. Well, mate, I said it before, I'll say it again. I'm very impressed. I will be giving that a whirl with a few live clients and see how we go.
I'm honoured. Thank you.